Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome one, welcome all. Welcome to Strictly Art Live, episode 39. I am your host, Rob Wilson. I'm a comic book artist, storyteller, video editor, a little bit of music dabber on that note, in which I did get back a little bit into Korg, the keyboard developing company. They made a app called Gadget that has all kinds of wonderful bells and whistles. So I'm interested in making my own music again, like I have in the past, that I hope to share with you in the future. You, of course, being the people. So it's Sunday, October the 20th. We got 11 days left. In October, 10 days left till Halloween. And I'm excited to enjoy that time and share it with you. So, this week, this is the third installment now of a Halloween special series in which I've covered each boogeyman, different boogeymen, from Jason Voorhees to Freddy Krueger. And today it is Michael Myers from John Carpenter's Halloween in the form of kind of like a anime horror format. My disclaimer is that these do not exist, at least not yet, but I hope to share some kind of brainstorming ideas for IPs that have already been established, and hopefully a studio hears this that has the rights, access to millions upon millions or even billions with a B, to make stuff like this happen. So this has been a pretty interesting brainstorming session for the past couple episodes. I do draw comic book art, and we're going to get into that as well as I cover some of these things. But I got some other topics to cover before we get into good old Michael Myers. So hopefully everyone's doing well out there. We are streaming live from YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, and IG. So that is going on live, 5 platforms. Come one, come all. That's why I say that I will never stream on Facebook, and X lost me when they start trying to charge people for streaming. So that is something I will not commit to because, honestly, X is not that important to me. It is entertaining, but I'm not going to pay for it. No. Let's see here. So we have today's streaming agenda. And I like to stay on subject. I don't want to go into long diatribes where people start hearing me rambling about nothing. But I like to stay on task for the time that we do have here. And quick promotion. This episode is brought to you by Celsius Live Fit Essentials. I am having the Dragonberry flavor, and this is where I sound like a YouTuber, but if I was a YouTuber, I would definitely promote things that keep you in shape, where men can be men and not flabby, not chubby Teletubbies. I don't play that. I don't look up to people that are in that kind of condition, because one can choose to be better. With all the advances we have in life and knowledge and access, one can always choose to be better. Alright, like I said, that's enough of my diatribe, enough ranting. But yeah, let's start off with Blue Exorcist. Apparently it's season 4, episode 2, which I got a chance to watch right before the stream. Sometimes I tend to be running behind schedule, but I got a chance to see that as advertised. And it seems that, this is the slow burn towards the big events that are coming up with the students, the council, who is a little fearful of the demon group called the Illuminati, and they have high-ranking demons that are, yeah, they have high-ranking demons amongst their hierarchy, and for this reason, some of the opposing council members of another group, I guess of the school, um, they are concerned about registering demons, so that way they can identify who's high rank, who's not, and making sure they don't have any infiltrators. After all, history has proven that is what the Illuminati is known for: infiltration. So that is a very simple concept in my eyes that I came to appreciate. 'Cause it's like, okay, we're following up. As minuscule and as basic as that fact was, I could appreciate it, within the anime. We had some bonding going on amongst students, like the main character. I'll get to their names eventually, but none stick out like Tomura Shigaraki. No names stick out like that to me yet. In fact, I'll have to go back and watch. What is it? Season. I don't even know. The last season I saw was like when the devil himself came and his son challenged him, who's the main character. He chose not to be, kind of like the inheritor of hell or something like that, to be his new general. That was kind of like the last one I saw. I don't know if that's season 2, 3, but this is season 4. And I'll go ahead and dig deep into the lore so that way I can properly and accurately cover the whole world that is Blue Exorcist. So, seemed like kind of a slow episode. Yeah, one character, he was trying to do his free your mind, fall off the bridge type thing, and oh, I'm scared, and then it kind of cut out, so we didn't really see anything activate. He had a couple past events that occurred, kind of like the concept of your life flashing before your eyes. That kind of thing happened, and it was alright. So moving on, I do want to mention, before I get to My Hero Academia, I want to mention Hell's Paradise, which was referred to me by a friend. I think I mentioned that last show, but it seemed very well. I hope to watch some more of it today after this show. And give my 2 cents on it because I thought it had a pretty good premise. The guy was basically ducking, a samurai ninja basically ducking his wife. And he preferred to be killed than, I guess deal with his wife because she was just a little too nice. And I guess he felt like he didn't deserve that after all the war-torn training that he had been through and suffering. That would be a bit of a shocker because he's used to ambushes and all that, and assassination attempts and kills. So I'm excited to watch a little bit more of that, as I mentioned. And that's that on that front. Now let's get to My Hero Academia. Episode 21. So it started off as, a continuation of the two lovebirds, the bloodsucker character and the zero gravity girl. Let me name them that. Basically, that came to a conclusion. One sacrificed blood so the other could live or continue, and they kind of had a bonding moment and all that good stuff. So from there, they moved on to the more important parts of the battle, in my opinion. And that was All Might in preparation against All For One, where All For One has a younger body. He's just OP'd beyond recognition, and his total recklessness due to I guess his mind being younger as well. So he's less forgiving. He just uses his power so frivolously. To be young is to be immortal, somewhat. What some people may think. So that, in my eyes, was the status of All for One, and or the Demon Lord, as he likes to call himself now. Um, so that may give him more room to make errors, um, where his powers may not always protect him. That is something I can kind of foresee. The brazen brashness of the youth forget limitations of the wise. They neglect the limitations of their own, you know, uh, age or whatever. Whereas the wise stays on steady, just as the turtle beats the hare. So that's kind of the feeling I'm getting, and we got to see a little taste of that. Well, All Might broke out the freaking his Iron Man type suit, and he took on All for One. He actually had a suit that augmented a lot of powers from Class A, which was pretty cool. We got to see him put that to work, and then some pretty epic moments, and kind of knock All for One back, and that was great. I was like, oh snap! Just when you think a legendary hero is retired and he can do nothing else, bam! They slam you with that. All Might's back. Bow! Even if it was just for an episode. Because quickly he got, outpowered, and, his suit could only take but so much. But I thought it was a great concept. I thought it was an absolutely great concept. And something to kind of show a bit of a refresher. Because All Might was literally ready to sacrifice his life just to delay All for One going after more of the students. That was a epic quick battle. The tough part about All for One is that we never really got to see him in his prime. Like a whole series of just him in his prime. We, we've only seen clips here and there where he's saved the day and dashed off and all that kind of stuff. But we have not seen, hey, it's the All Might show. But I think he's a great mascot to allow other characters to shine. I think that's fair. Now let's see. So yeah, the tide of battle pretty much turned once All for One got reacclimated and adjusted to what All Might could do, and then the limitations of the suit started to become very clear. And that's pretty much where we left off. I think they were planning for a big attack against him, or reinforcements came. I believe that's how it ended. So I thought, what a great episode. Like I said, episode 20 I kind of skipped over because I'm not invested in those two characters. I'm sure some people are, and I'm sure some people love them and enjoy them, and that's great. My Hero Academia has so many characters. Anytime you can emphasize the importance and the special skills of a girl that puts mushroom spores out and can close up your lungs, regardless of how powerful you are, during a class exercise, I think there's plenty of variety of characters to choose from that you may like. You just never know with My Hero Academia. So I think that's the gift that keeps on giving with that show. Next, what do we have? Next up, what do we have? Okay. So there is a classic. You normally hear me talk quite a bit about. I'm gonna give that a break for a moment. You normally hear me talk about anime pretty often because that's the more popular animation uh, of things that's going on today. But I want to revisit something that I think, um, if you haven't heard of it, hey, this is the opportunity to really catch an eye of what Marvel's former past glories have been. And that is back when the MCU was doing great, the first 10 years, they released a couple cartoon series. One of them was Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Um, I think they put it on Netflix back in the day. Let's see. Bear with me as I pull that up. Okay. Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Yeah. So yeah, this is the one. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to that so we can get a quick glimpse of greatness, that which was MCU.
Our world's about to break, tormented and attacked. Lost from when we wake, there's no way to go back. I've been standing on my own, but now I'm not alone. Always we will fight as one, till the battle's won. With evil on the run, we never come undone. Assemble, we are strong, forever fight as one. Assemble, we are strong, forever fight as one.
And there came a day unlike any other, when Earth's mightiest heroes found themselves united against a common threat. On that day, they became the Avengers. The invincible armored Iron Man, Thor, Prince of Thunder, the Hulk, strongest hero there is, and Captain America, the first Avenger.
Assemble, we are strong, forever fight as one. Avengers, assemble!
So there you go. That was a really great show because it offered a lot of alternative a lot of alternative story, contrary to the MCU. Like, yeah, one episode that it was great and it was so simple. It should have been like an MCU plot. So you got Winter Soldier shows up on the scene, just like in the MCU, and it's Bucky. Captain America finds out Bucky's brainwashed, but they have a point where Bucky actually captures Captain America. Alexander Pierce is, of course, a politician, and Bucky brings the captured Captain America to Alexander Pierce, tied up and all that. And Pierce apparently couldn't wait to get his hands on him, and in doing so, he just, you know, permitted to, or he just commenced to freaking start laying lefts and rights, heavy fists on Cap while he was tied up. Like, he was just so excited, and I was like, "What the heck is going on?" I was like, "Why is he beating down Cap like this?" It's very unbecoming of a public servant. And lo and behold, Pierce pulls his face off, well, mask, and it's the Red Skull underneath. I was like, oh my gosh, that's genius. Why is this not in the movie plot? It would allow for the return of the Red Skull, from first Avengers to Captain America, the first Avenger, and to Captain America, the Winter Soldier. But, due to the movie wise, the contractual agreements that were not met in the form of Hugo Weaving. Hugo Weaving was promised more screen time, more roles after his performance as the Red Skull, which was very good. It was very good, no doubt about it. For him to go from one of the greatest generic villains of all time in the form of Agent Smith from the Matrix series to one of the greatest comic book villains of all time, the Red Skull, the arch nemesis of Captain America. Great translation, great translation. But, however, the MCU did not balance their promise to Hugo Weaving, the actor, and his agent about more roles. So, Hugo Weaving moved on. That was the case. And, he just, quite a few people in the beginning kind of got cut out. Terrence Howard got cut out. Hugo Weaving got cut out. Promises were made but not kept for certain characters. And then for the Red Skull to show up as the keeper of the Soul Stone, that was pretty boring and didn't make sense. There's no point for that. It was like a substitution for, okay, we don't have any Adam Warlock, but here's the Red Skull as the guardian of the Soul Stone. Yeah, didn't make any sense. So, with Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, that series was really great. It was fast paced. You got to explore the Avengers, how they hung out in Avengers Tower. Hulk would come barging in through doors and stuff. And mind you, Tony Stark paid for that tower. So it's just like it goes back to that those complaints Stark had in Captain America: Civil War, where he was saying, "Am I hosting bed and breakfast for a biker gang because somebody left coffee grounds in the sink?" So I thought that was pretty funny and pretty cool. Shout out to the cartoon and tying it over to the MCU. Great stuff, great stuff. So, moving on, I thought that was a pretty cool series. I guess it came out like 2010. Definitely worth watching if you wherever you can find it. It's a classic series, great ending. I put it comparably to the level of like Justice League. How fun that was, and yeah, definitely. Now, there's also another one called Avengers Assemble. The animation different, slightly different animation, but you had an alternative history in that too, where the Red Skull stole Iron Man's suit and he became the Iron Skull because he used it as life support. And then he had like a league of villains that he was part of, including Atuma, rival or villain of what's his name, Namor the Submariner, and then you had what was his name, Erman Zola in his Krang bodysuit, which was funny. And you had a couple other villains too, so that made it a little more interesting as well. Okay, so moving on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one. So I want to go ahead and display with you guys this one thing, and I'll be explaining where is it going. As we've, again, 39 episodes of Strictly Art live. That's a heck of a commitment. That's 39 episodes this year so far. We're gonna call this a near end season premiere. episode 40 will be a benchmark, and we're gonna kind of put together all these boogeymen as we've talked about and kind of celebrate um the last time I can stream before Halloween, and then after that, well, we'll get there. So let me go ahead and show you guys this first ever seen, upcoming thing that I'm about to announce. Yes, ladies and gents, that is Sketchwave. That is going to be a new show that I will be doing exclusively on Twitch. Um, there will not be any video on demand for it. You will have to see it when you're there. You have to be there in order to see it. Plain and simple. There's no membership for Twitch. There's no subscription for Twitch. That is mandatory. What you do is optional. That's all on you, buddy. But on Sketchwave, I will be covering artwork that I will not be showing to the public for constant consumption. So see it when you get a chance. I'll be working on my comic book, like I mentioned. I just started doing some panel work, and yeah, if you manage to stop by on Sketchwave on Twitch only, that's when you'll get a chance to see some of those panels, and it'll pretty much just be none of me talking. I'll be jamming out to some music, the way I really love to do art. But I get it, YouTube and all these other places like entertainment. You got to be entertaining and all that crap. I'm not here for that. I'm here to produce art. And if you like art, great. Hopefully you enjoy what I do as much as I do. Otherwise, hey, it is what it is. That's why I try to add things to Strictly Art live, and I've enjoyed it. I've had a great time. I will be scaling back some episodes after the 40th episode of Strictly Art Live. I will do 10 more episodes to wrap out the year. And with the last episode being a sort of year-end review. And, I normally get people that watch after the show is done. So I'll just kind of have a conversation about, how far I've come, the things I've gotten a chance to do this year, and what I'm looking forward to next year. And kind of do that. So I get it. In the eyes of some people, drawing may be boring. People want to fast forward to the end results. Great. But I think the journey is just as important as the destination. And that's what I'm going to do with that. Yeah. So yeah, Sketchwave. Catch it when you can catch it. I'll see you when I see you. That kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break. And then when I come back, we're going to talk about Michael Myers. Alrighty? Go ahead and grab your favorite drink or whatnot, and do what you do. Do what you do. Right back. All right, we are back. And now we are going to discuss some things about Michael Myers. Let's see, let's make sure we got the music rolling. Got something cool playing, hopefully. Yeah, that's the other thing I'm looking forward to with Sketchwave that I'll be doing pretty soon. I look forward to coming back to OBS. I've already started updating the my overlays and all that, different pages of OBS, and yeah, the data has been saved, and I'll continue that, and then I'll be able to play my favorite playlists and stuff. And like I said, it's not for replay consumption, so if you watch it, if you're there to watch it, that's it. That's it. You know, you might see something that you won't see on Strictly Art Live ever, 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 ever. Or maybe you'll see it a year later, you know? All depends. So, Michael Myers, here we are this week. Michael Myers is a specter type of boogeyman. It's, he started off, as, just pure rage, pure hate, pure killing, that kind of thing. However, he has never been defined. He would never be properly defined without the help of Donald Pleasant's character in the form of Dr. Loomis. So there's like a bit of a Dr. Loomis is like a bit of an anchor because he spent so much time with Michael Myers. This could be definitely expanded on in many different ways, but since the kid, he didn't say anything for so long after his first murdering spree, what other aspects could we explore that would show up in the anime? I like the Rob Zombie concept of him kind of seeing his mother with the pale horse. I think that was in Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie directed film. I like that concept. I think that could be equated to some kind of demonology type thing. Also like the druid concept too, because John Carpenter introduced the druids of Halloween, and what was it? Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. And it had nothing to do with Michael Myers though. It was like an alternate universe type thing. Because I think at one point John Carpenter wanted just different stuff happening on Halloween, not just limited to Michael Myers. After Season of the Witch ended up being so outrageously crazy, I think he was like, and fan response or whatever, I think it was like, all right, I'll stick with Michael Myers. So Michael Myers ended up becoming a main stable as opposed to a one-off character. And by, what was it? I think it was Halloween. Yeah, so Season of the Witch was Halloween 3. I think by Halloween 4 or 5, one of those. Michael Myers got locked up, and then he got bailed out by some druids. At least that was the idea. So John Carpenter kind of crossed those together. I think there's more you could do with that. Absolutely. Since they kind of look at Michael Myers as kind of like their representation of rage and suffering, to appease whatever gods they probably have. And if we're going off of the druids, the toy master druid that use fragments of Stonehenge to make these masks that would basically make kids freak out and pass out due to hearing the same So days of Halloween, Halloween. I think there's a better story you can come up with that. You even had he's making like life model decoys. You know, one guy he actually slept with one of them. You know, that's definitely an anime type theme right there. And he didn't know that she was a robot, and I think he was his daughter too, the toy maker's daughter. The toy maker was played by the guy from RoboCop, the head of OCP for 2 movies at least, and yeah, he did a lot of explaining in Season of the Witch, which again, that's something that could be expanded. But if you can combine the druids and their activities across, across multiple fronts, with Michael Myers as if there's some kind of connection, I think you can have a pretty good anime story from that. Why not? You know, um, Supernatural forces involved. So maybe if you're gonna do a Japanese anime of that, you have the supernatural forces, and then instead of having Dr. Loomis just team up with the local sheriff, have Dr. Loomis learn certain forms of exorcism or demonology, or have him team up with a priest. I don't think we've ever seen Donald Pleasance team up with a priest, besides him playing a priest, and team up with a teacher in John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. There's some storytelling potential from there. It can definitely be used. So you got many different aspects that you can do with Michael Myers, and then although Michael Myers, he is a bullet, but he has a clear loyalty to specifically the dark side, so to speak. And there's some things that can be used for that. He does. He is obsessed with killing his earthly ties. If you wanted to make it a really, really dark anime, what happens if Michael Myers severs his earthly ties by actually killing, so and so, Joni Lore, Jamie Lee Curtis, which they did that, and it meant absolutely nothing, in the series. It's just like, okay, he did it, and then he goes off to fight Buster Rhymes. Halloween Resurrection, I believe. But there's another concept that's available, because Halloween Resurrection, that whole thing that made it fresh and renewed was that it tapped into kind of like social media, where they had the cameras throughout the house, and it was almost like a video game. Where is he? Don't get caught. Oh, you get a message. He's upstairs. So, don't go through the kitchen. Somebody's dead through there. Boom. You got some good potential there. That's a whole nother concept of that. But I don't know how many times that would work before it would become stale. But again, you got some different aspects. If they wanted to do like some kind of multiverse thing, you could call Michael Myers a what do they call him? A anchor. What do they call in Deadpool? A anchor hero. So he would be like an anchor villain. So at the end of the day, the question would be, who would Michael Myers answer to? What demonic force? What druidic hierarchy would he answer to? How big is the druidic hierarchy? What is their actual goal besides putting pieces of Stonehenge into Halloween masks while driving people crazy with the same commercial over and over? So there's a lot of unexplored potential with that. But I think a lot can be said with Halloween and around Michael Myers, because Michael Myers don't say much, just some grunts here and there. And even like Jason, supporting cast really helps that character to thrive. Supporting cast and a good story. You know, in Jason Voorhees' case, it's all about the campers figuring out what happened, who's there, how did they, somebody knew about it or they've been forewarned and all that kind of stuff. So those are important aspects to share as far as storytelling. But if you just let Michael Myers run around and just do his own thing, he's got to have some kind of mythology to it. Well, yeah, mythology. Because he just runs around and kills. You don't want, for an anime, you don't want Michael Myers to do the same thing that Jason's doing, just running around killing campers or teens just for the sake of killing them. I think Michael Myers as a phantom, I've heard some people call him like an actual phantom before. Give him some other storyline to that, you know. I think that would be pretty helpful in the adventures of Michael Myers. But again, there's not much to him. There's not much depth without a grandiose storyline. You know, just hate and rage and all that. Donald Pleasance has explained that ad nauseum when it's come to Michael Myers because he's known him so well. What else could you possibly have with that? They could always do the classic, Michael Myers stands in front of a car, and gets ran over or gets hit, and he gets back up like the Undertaker. Fine, that works. Or one of the main staples of the Halloween franchise is the music. So John Carpenter's known for, playing that bass drum and stuff, or bass guitar for a lot of his movies. In this one, he switched it up to something very unique. So, yeah, there's a lot of potential. It's just a matter of what the studio will want to go for. In the case of good old Eminem. Let's see here. He has different ways of killing. What else could he possibly have for his skill set? When he sees youngsters, he does kind of have that flashback, similar to Jason, because as a kid, he can kind of relate to being a kid. But obviously, we see these moments with Michael Myers where the evil takes back over and he has to put the mask back on. And just on a joking note, I don't know why he loves wearing mechanic clothes, But different from Jason, Michael Myers can drive. He definitely can drive. I don't know where he got his license, but he manages to fool young teens on Halloween pretty often. And he's not afraid to wear more than one mask. So his tactics of infiltration are pretty good. He's very quiet. Yeah. So that's a tough one, man. That is a tough one. I tried to think of other ways to kind of like enhance his story. But it starts with, what lore is implemented or added or attached to Michael Myers if he's going to be for an anime. Obviously, you can sensationalize, the blood, guts, and gore when it comes to Michael Myers and his kills for anime, like we know. But, are you going to have, teens discovering another more brutal evil than Michael Myers to direct him to go fight? Probably not. The story would be more around Michael Myers and the dark forces that he serves, since he is a bit of a phantom. Yeah, it's kind of tough to see with that, though, who he would answer to. Would there be a type of demonic manifestation in the physical form that Myers would start to see and start to get orders from? Would he be the type to listen to Cenobites? from Hellraiser. Who knows? Um, we know the Pinhead will string him up real quick, like he was a Christmas ornament. So just kind of thinking of that idea because next episode I want to put all of these characters together um, in this anime format. You can go ahead and include Hell, Demons, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, and probably a couple others that I want to mention for next show. But I think there's definitely a lot that can be added to what's been already done to make it more exciting in an anime format. And notice how I've kind of gone beyond Netflix because Netflix has limitations on what they would make cartoons and what they would put in their cartoons. So I don't think there's that much leeway, and for a Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger Japanese anime, one would have to go beyond Netflix. But again, a lot of this stuff we wouldn't see in this day and age anyway, for obvious reasons that I'm not going to go into. But I've talked about it to a degree. So yeah, Michael Myers running around, tooling around town, classic butcher knife stuff. Deception, playing switcheroo, playing phantom games, possibly answering to druids. After all, druids got him out of jail. Are they able to maybe now? You could also do this if you look at the concept from what was it? The Conjuring series, The Devil Made Me Do It. That movie in which like basically a witch was was summoning a demon to possess a guy and have him kill. So if that's the case, let's say like the Undertaker has the urn, in which he followed for a long time until he overcame it. The urn was like his remote. It was like the remote, and Paul Bearer was kind of like his handler. So if you incorporate the druids, why not have the druids as Michael Myers' handler to take out certain targets? Now, what that would look like, there's so many ways, with like magic lore and dark arts and all that kind of stuff in Japanese anime that already exists that could be used as an example for that. No one's asking for a Bible Black version of that. That's a little too much for Japanese anime and beyond. But there is a way that you could do that. So if we do that though, then that would take the responsibility off of Michael Myers as a killer. So that's kind of like a thin line to walk with that as well. We want to make it clear that, hey, Michael Myers is a killer. This is what he did. Is Michael Myers redeemable? Donald Pleasance has tried so many times. Just because he's known him for so long, he's almost like a surrogate father to him, which is why at times he tries to appeal to his humanity. And Michael does occasionally stop just for Dr. Loomis because he knows Dr. Loomis as well. He acknowledges him. He recognizes him. But he doesn't listen, I think he's listened to Dr. Loomis for long enough. All right, so moving on. Keep the accountability on Michael Myers because he did what he did, even though there may be dark forces afoot. And how do those dark forces get him to do the initial kill? There could be a flashback with that. There could be an imaginary friend that Mike Myers as a kid all of a sudden starts seeing, or maybe he is at one of those parties where maybe his sister or relative or somebody um, breaks open a Ouija board, opens a doorway, kind of uses him as a catalyst. Or Michael Myers could have a family member that cast a curse on him, to have him be demonically possessed, or to have him act out the way that he does, kind of like a demon on his back, that kind of thing. Many different ways you could go ahead and emphasize this. Many different ways. It's just a matter of what approach you want to take. And yeah, would you have mainstay? Could there be mainstay like characters? Obviously, Michael Myers' sister. I think she could have a different approach too. She could start off as a damsel in distress, while eventually like turning into kind of like a Sarah Connor type. She could be like, hey, I fought Michael Myers most of my life. I have this to repel him. I know, these tactics, and who knows? I mean, there are a lot of possibilities with her if she's going to stay long term. That's the key. Michael Myers is a mainstay. I'd say have the Druids a mainstay. So that way, the problem looks much bigger than just Michael Myers running around killing people. I get the mystique behind it, but you can do so much more. So yeah, imagine you could have had Jamie Lee Curtis kicking butt, fighting Druids after she learns of the initial jailbreak. I believe that was in Halloween. What was it, Halloween 4 or something like that, or Halloween 2, where the Druids broke him out of jail. Many different ways you can do with that. So yeah, lots of possibilities. And with that being said, I think our time is up. I'm gonna go ahead and clean some of this up offline. And I hope everyone enjoyed the show. Please take notes. Any Netflix directors, anime directors, you can do something with these horror characters and reimagine them into an even better state, far beyond their former glory. So I got a chance to get some metal prints done. Let me think. I want to make a commercial out of those than just say, here it is, guys. So be on the lookout for that. Episode 40, Celsius. Episode 40 will be, I believe, next Tuesday. Yes, episode 40 will be next Tuesday of Strictly Art Live next week. Be on the lookout for that. We're going to go ahead and probably show some, Halloween clips, some stuff like that. And I'll be drawing as well. And kind of put together this universe of, horror boogeymen in the form of a major anime where all bets are off, all limitations are off. Just, how does this character interact with that character? How would they have been able to, manipulate another character? And what other forces, not just dark, supernatural, but what other forces on Earth could be manipulating some of these boogeymen or have an involvement with these boogeymen as well. So, we've covered My Hero Academia, we've covered Blue Exorcist, we've covered Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, we've covered Michael Myers in the form of Japanese horror anime. I keep advertising horror anime because, you're going to see some blood, guts, some gores, maybe even some demons in that. And that demon aspect I didn't even cover it because I want to save it for next week when I introduce Hellraiser in that one. What else did we cover? I mentioned my art prints, my art portfolio, my art blog. Be on the lookout for that. I'll post it on X, and all the areas that I'm at. I'm on X, Threads, um, Facebook, Instagram. I don't really post artwork on there, but I'll post a link on it. But mainly Threads. I use Threads more than IG. And yeah, that's what we got, ladies and gents. Y'all take care. I hope you have a great Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Don't let the week beat you up too bad. And just remember, you too can create amazing things. If you're a fan, you got more passion than half these people in Hollywood that exist today that are making these movies or acting in them. So why not contribute your part? I have no stake in any of these boogeymen, horror boogeymen, except where I like the movies and I know they could do better with some of the things that they're doing or take it to a different medium. So that's what we got. Yeah, I'm Rob Wilson. I'm out.